Hi, I'm Eduardo Mace, Director General of DX Networks, and I'm here to get you through DX's 101. From the onset, DX has been built to support video content in a new interactive television format. What we do is package, distribute, and monetize this video content through mobile applications. As you can see here on the screen, DX's mission has much to do with getting people entertained, informed, and educated through the use of audiovisual support in mobile applications. We believe that DX has a unique approach to packaging, distribution, and monetization, which will lead the way to the future in terms of mobile video applications. Now, that's not to say that we don't face challenges. There are a lot of challenges that need to be overcome by anyone who wants to go into the mobile video space. From the video streams to the mass delivery of video to social sharing, how to deal with the analytic tools, time to market, publicity, conversion funnels. It's a myriad of challenges that have been overcome by us over the past years and that we believe will continue to exist in one or another manner throughout the history of mobile, because this is the core of the business, is how to generate, distribute, and monetize the content that you have. Now, to do that, DX has developed three distinct product formats. One for stadiums and museums where you have a local distribution. Another one for you who want to have an open mass market distribution, be it geo-restricted or IP-restricted to a certain country. And thirdly, a corporate solution for internal communications. Now, all this product and all the underlying difficulty of the mobile space, generally, they have an underlying technology called DX technology. And DX technology has been built on a framework and an operational model that's very similar to television. Let's have a look at the 5 main points that television needs to cater to deliver content and monetize that content to the consumer. First is acquisition. And we treat acquisition the same way television or film treats acquisition. You need to capture it, store it, and tag it. Then you have generation. You need to digitize it. You need to, again, organize it so that you can transmit it. And then, on the distribution side, there's the actual network, the controls that you need. On the delivery side, there's the access and user experience. And on the monetization side, you have payment, publicity, and the rights management. Now, what we did was simplify this process into the simple 3-layer approach. The first layer is a consumer layer, the second, the control layer, and the third, the internet services layer. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a series of tools that we've developed to deal with these 3 layers. And as we go through these layers, I'm going to show you how DX has worked them out, so that we can deliver a better experience and monetize it faster while keeping the consumer satisfied. Right, so on the consumer layer, we have 2 major softwares that can help you deliver the content that's needed. One is a browser, which is basically a player we developed with navigational facilities. And the other one is the store, is the stuff that builds the landing pages that you will need to convert your users into subscriptions or that you will need to drive your campaigns. In general, the DX browser can run on any platform, and the DX store is a web page. The DX browser is more of an app, and the DX store is more of a web-oriented application. Now, let me show you some examples of how the DX browser works on Android, iOS, and PC, or even connected televisions. And let me give you some examples of how the DX store works.
I'm going to type in slap here, slap DXTV BR, and slap's going to bring us the menu for our demos here. And what I'm going to show you is a sampler that we made in English, and this sampler is basically a restricted access. Obviously the restricted access is login and password. As you can see, I'm here on the Wi-Fi, and the whole experience is inside the browser. I can make it full screen or not. I can access the content, some metadata on the content that's actually being delivered. Or I can go to the mosaic, and in the mosaic, as you can see, there are lots of channels. Now, we created all these channels so that you could deliver video on demand in a channel-like format. So this is what we call the DX experience. You can have live channels, and you can have multiple layered mosaic channels. Or you can have channels that are built on demand. For example, this top 5 here is built according to Facebook trends. And you can navigate between these videos as if it were a channel. Right? So overall, what you have is a very similar to television experience. It drives consumers into different channels and keeps them logged in. You know, they get tranced by this, and the session times are absolutely off the roof. Now, obviously, this is a sports sample that we did, but you can have the same thing with kids content, and it looks a little different, as you can see. And on the kids content, it's basically the same thing, but it's kids content. So it feels like television, right? The mosaic feels different. You can notice that there's no more multi-layer mosaic. Obviously, there are certain things that we've developed. For example, when you have this icon here, is because you've bought a gift card, and then this habilitates the gift card option, right? But if you notice, we treat it like television. You know, there's interstitials, there's advertising. So we treat it much like television would, the videos. Now, obviously, you can see that this opens up very fast, and this happens to be a trick we did regarding the content delivery. You know, we're plugged into all the major mobile telcos data centers. So the video opens up in less than a second, generally. As you can see, it's very quick, and it runs this quick, be it on 3G or a Wi-Fi connection or a normal internet, broadband internet connection. What you need here is a minimum of 800K, and you're good to go. And it feels like television. There are other distributions, like TV distributions for corporate use. Obviously, not all television needs to be restricted. So this is a sample we did for Red Bull, and this is free to use. I mean, you don't need a login and password to access this, right? And this is full screen. This is, you know, full HD. As you can see, it doesn't make much difference regarding the video in terms of how much time it needs for you to open the video. Okay.
Now what you see here is the Android experience. The Android experience has been built to be the same as the PC experience in other connected devices. As you can see, it's very similar in the way it navigates. It's also very fast, and you can have on-demand and live channels, and it runs on basically on any Android device. There's a lot to be said here because running that fast on Android is not easy. Right, as you've seen before, the browser actually works fine on all PC, Mac, Android, iOS, and the DX Store is the way in. I mean, this is like a landing page that's built using DX Store. Basically what it is a storefront, and we have multiple storefronts depending on what marketing campaign is being actually done by the product manager. So as you can see, this is a simple landing page accepting all major credit cards and PayPal. PayPal, by the way, is our preferred partner, mainly because it's so ubiquitous in the US and Brazil. So in the US, there's about 115 million clients of PayPal. So it's very easy for you to start selling and subscriptions and pay-per-view using PayPal in general. Now, the DX Store, which is our component that actually builds these landing pages, can actually build them in a fashion that the address can be anywhere really. So this is a landing page for a sports product. Now you can have the content being shown off from day one, but once you click on something that's actually paid, it pops up the screen and you have to give your credit card and your details. Now, the DX Store works in much the same way that a landing page would, except that it basically connects you to the rights management and to the middleware in an orderly fashion for the DX. So after the consumer layer, which is what the consumer sees, you have the control layer, which is what the manager sees. The manager sees, DX Studio, which is basically an uploader of video, and sees the middleware platform, which is where you input the metadata and build the experience itself for delivery. And then you have DX Analytics, which is basically the collection of data, both of monies coming in and consumption, video consumption. And the video consumption is actually exported to Google Analytics as well. So with all these three components, you have a full-fledged solution for video delivery over the internet. Now let's have a look at each of these and see how they can help us build a good user experience. Okay, let's see how we build an example with DX. First, you have to build a platform. A platform is a distribution that you want to do. Now maybe you want Android and you want iOS, but you don't want PC and Mac. Maybe you want PC and Mac, but you don't want Android and iOS. Maybe you just want connected television. The platform is where you actually set up the application. And obviously, this application is basically filling in all the necessary data so that you know where the support site is, where the subscription site is, what bitmaps to use where, and general token security management as well. So this is really quite simple once you get down to it. And after you've built the platform and you've put it in, you're going to want to upload the media files either using Studio or using our media component here in the content management. And right after that, you will need to build the playlists. Now, The playlists are where you connect the content and the playlists to the platforms. Let me show you how we do this for this distribution. Let me find another distribution. Right. As you can see, this playlist has a lot of categories. The categories are the mosaics and the playlists related to the mosaic items. And well, you can also, using the DX content management inside the middleware, you can actually manage the storefront, and you can actually manage access control and relationship management, and basically audit what's going on in the system, right? Now, each access control, I mean, you can have lots of typical access control features, like users access one part, don't access the other. And this will build the menus according to the access rights of that person. Now, and you have DX Analytics, which is a component that basically tells you how many subscriptions that have come in during the day or during a certain period, and how many pay-per-views and gift cards were sold. Now, all this is to do with how much trials are coming in, how much money is coming in, and also you have a user central where you can actually manage and see who's come into the system, from what origin they've come from, if they've come from Facebook, if they've come from a landing page. And basically DX Analytics gives you an overview of how fast your business is growing and where the people are coming from. Now, we have the ability to export all the DX Analytics consumption data to any analytics software. This is Google Analytics at its best. I mean, Google has done a great job here, so we thought that we might use it for viewing our own consumption of video. So all distributions get mapped to Google Analytics, and it's very complete. I mean, you can see who's consuming video, where they're consuming the video, and how often they're consuming the video, whether they come from, in terms, what are their equipments they're using, the technology they're using to consume the videos. It's a full-fledged, and you can see that in real time as well. I mean, if you have a live feed, you can see who's watching what feed, what time. It's really interesting to see that such a powerful software can be used for so much. And thirdly, we have the Internet Services layer. The Internet Services layer is the infrastructure layer that's composed of both hardware and software nowadays. Now, the cloud infrastructure behaves according to demand. It multiplies itself. It actually builds servers as demand comes in. It actually distributes the content through CDN in an optimized way. And on top of that, we have the services, the web services, which is the component that controls the entitlement, the rights and the access to all the content and all the control layer. So in that way, you can feel protected both in cost and security. And we've developed a series of procedures that make this the most secure video offering in the internet. Now let's have a look at what we mean by infrastructure and web services. There are a couple of slides I'd like to show you. Let's get this up and running. Just a second. Okay. Now these slides are made so that, right here we have them. This is our normal Amazon Web Services configuration. Now this would be the same thing if you were doing it in other cloud configurations. Basically, this is the current distribution of servers and services related to the web, the cloud and the web. We have an ongoing relationship with Amazon, and we have our own private databases, private data center, and that all gets pushed to the internet. Now, this is what we have normally, and this grows exponentially because of the elastic load balancers. Now, this is what we have when there's a special event. You know, we have multiple signals coming in and multiple signals going out, and this is a configuration that's actually very cost effective and makes you deliver hundreds of video channels over the internet with ease and simplicity. It's a little different from what we have traditionally because this entails a lot more computing power than we would need on a video on demand side. And obviously the live services, they need to be balanced out so that when somebody turns on the television, you have to have the provision to turn on the signal again and again and again, no matter how many people come in at the same time, especially in prime time. So what we have here is a means to service people preemptively. Before they turn on the television, we grow the system, and the live signals become instantaneous. And thirdly, this is basically what we have in the venues. You know, we set up a private data, a private network in the venue, and that connects to the cloud infrastructure as well. And it all works very well because the browser, the DX browser, is transparent to where the video is. It doesn't really matter if the video is local or remote. It's just an internet address, and we go navigating and calling it up very easily. Now, just so that we know what the web services are, the web services, they sit atop a series of servers that are protected, that have very limited access, and basically what it does, it allows us to control who accesses the databases and who accesses the content. The content's protected, the data is protected because we have a web service that actually reads the request from the browser, from the player, the video player, and translates that into messages that can be read by the browser without the browser having to access directly the database. So that makes it a lot more secure, and it also makes it a lot more stable as well, because we can control the number of requests that are coming in and out. On the acquisition side, we have DX Capture and DX Generator, which are two components of DX that we're working on right now. The DX Capture is basically a capture module for users to be able to share content within DX. And the control layer, or the DX Generator, is basically a builder of playlists with video from the internet on a certain subject. So both these modules should be ready by year's end, and they're going to greatly increase our capability of delivering premium content to our users. I would like to thank you for being with us these minutes and hope that you've enjoyed our experience here with DX. Thank you very much.